Hi, let's talk about multimeter. Multimeter is the most used tool by CCTV or intruder alarm engineers, and obviously you will have to use it every day. You have your leads. There's one common connection there. Usually you put black in there, and red you can put either for volts, ohms and milliamps, or high amperage. So if you measuring current and it's big, that's where you connect it. So you connect it like there, and you have different functions on this multimeter. You have DC volts, direct current, and you have AC volts, which are there. Then obviously that's an off position. Here are ohms, the green one, the green part. You just switch between them, and there is a continuity, which that's how so you connect between something and something which you believe has a connection. And let's say we put it in there, in this block connector, and on this side, and there's, if you put there, which is the different one, there's nothing there obviously. That's the only one there's where it's connection. So that's the continuity. Obviously you measure all kinds of things like that. You can measure ohms, so you have different ranges. You have 200 ohms, 2K, 20K, 200K. There are a few resistors there. You can simply measure them. Let's go to 20K range, and let's measure, let's say, this one. And if we put it in there and put this side on the other side of the resistor, we should get something there. That's 4K7. We have 4.62 because those resistors have tolerance, so they are not exact. Typically they have about 10% of tolerance. You can have for special use you will have resistors which may have 1% tolerance, but like in alarms and access and CCTV and the resistors of fire, they will have probably nothing better than 10%. So we have this one, and there's another one here which is different, and it's 2K2, so 2.2, 2200 ohms. So that's how you measure that. Another thing which you can measure is obviously voltage. Now there are two different types of voltage you measure, AC and DC. DC is direct, and AC is the one which is changing. And other thing about it is this AC, it's usually 220 in Europe. In US will be around, I think it's 110. So it's a high voltage, it's dangerous, and you have to obviously follow whatever procedures are in your country to do that. So I just switched to AC here, put on 600 volts, and if I connect this, not sure if you will see that, but if I connect this there, we have 220, as you can see. Now that's an alternative current AC, so the one which is changing. At a high voltage you have to be very careful with that, follow whatever safety procedures you have in your country. Just don't follow me on that. Now this is 12 volt power supply, AC, so sorry, DC, so direct current. So that's our, it's called typically like a it's called inline PSU. So it's connected to 220. On this side you're getting 12 volts. Let's check what it is. Maybe that's 24. So I will connect my, so first I switch to DC on the multimeter and connect there minus 12 volts. It's minus because I connected plus to minus on this side, so I just switch them and you have 12 volts on that PSU. And basically that's the most common way of using that. Very rarely you will be measuring current, but then you have to connect in series that multimeter into the circuit which you're measuring. So a voltage you measure by connecting in parallel like that, or the same with resistance. But if you measure current, you have to put in series this meter into the particular circuit which you are measuring. Another thing you have to remember, you should stick to the ranges. If you use for something higher, it may not work properly. You have to remember about which is plus, which is minus on the different outputs. There's another thing, if you're measuring resistance of something like a resistor in a circuit, alarm circuit or access or any other, you have to remember that it should be any other power connector to that when you're doing that, because this will give you a wrong reading. Because this basically what this multimeter does, it sends certain voltage to that resistor and is measuring the current which comes back from that flows through that resistance. When you have this voltage connected to the resistor and you will have some other voltage, you will get wrong readings. So you will never get proper measurement. So you have to remember when measuring on different devices, being this alarm, intruder, fire, there shouldn't be, if you're measuring resistance, there shouldn't be any other voltage than the one from your multimeter. Otherwise, it will be bad. You won't get proper value. Another thing to remember, if you're measuring anything of high voltage like 220, don't forget to switch to your high voltage range, because in the best case scenario you will burn fuse inside. In the worst case scenario you will burn your multimeter. And basically that's the basics of using your multimeter. It could be obviously more to that, but we could have much smarter multimeters and so on, but there's no need to talk about it. Obviously you will discover this yourself. Don't forget to sign up. Thank you.